backyard, in essence, in Britain, some idea of building some sort of island of change. We know that if we don't look out at the world and make change there, we can't build a better world. We know that if we don't fight tooth and nail against anti-Semitism, we can't build a better world. And we also know, by the same token, that we can't build a better world without supporting the fight of the Palestinian people against their oppression and for freedom and justice. And there is a link between the role that our government, our ruling class play in the Middle East and what they do here. We have a government and a ruling class which has given us food banks, it's destroying our National Health Service, we can see the environment we live in being destroyed around us. And we can also see it trying to use all the tricks of racism and Islamophobia to divide us. And their support for Israel comes from the same root. Israel is their friendly little policeman, armed to the teeth, in the Middle East. It helps give them control over oil, over the Suez Canal. It helps in their war in the world, a war which is getting hotter day by day. That is why they back Israel. We are not worth much to them, and the lives of tens of thousands of Palestinians is a price worth paying as far as they're concerned, if it helps maintain their power. Now, I think one of the questions that people ask whenever there are movements and campaigns like this is protesting worth it? And I would like to thank everybody who's come out today in Chelmsford. This is a really good crowd. Well done to everybody.
Hey! Have we got any more papers? Do you want to take those, John? Take those. All right.
And Southend, who have actually organised today.
You'll have to ask Ray how many we took today because I've got no clue.
Turns out.
Some so many.
So I think I have worked hard to make this happen. And the other thing about protesting, when you ask is it worth it, look at what the other side do. The Tories actually tried to ban our protests. We have people like Suella Braverman, the unlamented Suella Braverman, and Michael Gove, who I'm happy to say is now shuffled off the political stage, trying to say that we were racist, trying to smear us as anti-Semites and extremists. We answered it, not by just being polite, not by going home, but by getting out on the street.
Hey!
That made our voice heard, that overcame their attempt to censor and ban us. And that just shows you that these protests worry them. And I think in this election, for many, many people, Gaza will be an issue. I know that Socialist Worker will be supporting candidates, progressive candidates who clearly stand out against Israel's attack on Gaza. Will certainly be supporting Jeremy Corbyn, standing in Islington North. Someone whose principles got him expelled from Keir Starmer's Labour Party, but it is those principles that we need. We always knew what side the Tories would be on, but Gaza has shown up the bankruptcy, I'm afraid, of Labour under Starmer. And as socialists, we have to believe that we need to build up the forces that can bring about real change. Everyone, I suspect here, will be happy to see the Tories go. I hope there are some But I think in terms of policy on Gaza and many other things, there's a problem. Starmer has made it clear that he was the party of no change. So our movement will need to continue. We need to make sure Gaza is an issue in the election, but we also need to be stopped. We need to not let ourselves be stopped by people who may try to tell us not to rock the boat. This is the very time we need to rock the boat. We also need to make sure that Gaza stays an issue after the election as well. It is very unlikely, I don't know what's going to happen over the next 6 weeks, but the issue in Gaza and the issues of Palestinians will not have gone away. And when you look around the world, you can see this is a movement that has grown and developed. People all over the world look at the demonstrations in London. They know we're part of the coalition of oppression that backs up Israel. But now, colleges across the US are occupied. Occupations often led by young Jewish students, by the way, who are disgusted by what is supposed to be done in their name.
Hey!
Despite all the attempts to put people off and censor free speech on campuses, there was recently a protest at Essex University in Colchester, and I hope to see many more of those growing and building. And I think we also have to try and spread the message out. Spread it out to your friends and workmates in your workplace. Make sure our trade unions act, as they've often got great policy on Palestine. You've got to make sure that they act and take it seriously, that they're on those demonstrations. I also want to say something briefly about the situation in Palestine and some of the slogans we use. Because we're always criticised about the slogan from the river to the sea. What, you know, we all know what that means. It means that area from the Jordan to the Mediterranean. And our view on that from the Socialist Workers' Party has always been that what we need is a single secular state where everyone, Jewish, Arab, no matter what these artificial divides of religion or so-called ethnicity are, where everyone can have a decent life. That is what we need. And that is... That is a state that must exist from the river to the sea, and that, I believe, is what we need. And I think I have to say, our view, for instance, is that as politicians start to feel guilty about Palestine and Gaza, they start saying, oh, a two-state solution. And there may be people who agree with that. I think the problem is that when you look at Gaza and the West Bank, you see exactly what the two-state solution means. And it means apartheid. And it's not a solution for anybody in that region. It's simply a solution that would put in place discrimination and put in place permanently the situation of armed camps, which is not the way for a decent life for anybody. And we believe that we also must look to the masses of the Middle East. Ordinary people in the Middle East, not the likes of Sisi. Because for instance, if you look at Gaza, we know who one set of jailers are, they're the Israelis. But the other jailer is Sisi, the military-backed ruler in Egypt, who actually destroyed the movement for democracy in Egypt itself. And whenever there is a movement from below in the Middle East, like the Arab Spring, we discover that one of the demands that ordinary people in the street raise is freedom for Palestine. They want their leaders to take the rhetoric seriously. They want solidarity with their brothers and sisters in Gaza and the rest of Palestine. And we believe that's another leg of our fight, to show solidarity with them, because it can lead to mobilising the force and the strength that can finally liberate Palestine. And I really want to end by saying, and I'll echo something that a friend who's introducing the speaker said, you know, why are we here? Obviously, we all see the pictures on the television. You know, we see children blown up in the streets. We see all kids, orphans, sitting in hospital, not knowing that their entire family has been killed. We see wave after wave of attacks, bombing, shelling, the army moving in tanks. Yet people are armed with no more than rifles or stones. That is the reality. But the reason we're here is because actually the Palestinians have never ceased to resist occupation. Not for a moment. And in fact, as the Israeli army is finding out today, they have not finished resisting that occupation in many, many different ways. Some of them resist by surviving. I promise you there's a strength there in the Palestinian people which is not going away. And I think because they fight, we still know the name Palestine. That is why. That is why it has not been erased. So we do owe them sympathy, but they are not tragic victims. And that's why I think our message today is not just of sympathy, although God knows you have it, but it's a solidarity of standing side to side with them in their struggle, of making sure that we hold our politicians here to account, of making sure we get our message out to people here in the heart of the beast. We can do something to stop support for Israel, we can do something to ensure not just that there is a ceasefire in Gaza, but there is a just and lasting settlement for the people of Palestine and for their rights and for an end, a final end once and for all to their oppression. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations.